gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am happy to be with you all here this morning on PSTARS Radio. The time is now 10:32 a.m. And I'm happy to be here with you all. God is good all the time, and all the time He is even better. Not a lot of people got the chance or the opportunity to be alive here today. And so if I am able to be here and you are able to be here, and most of all with me, then that is by the grace of God and the grace of God alone. And so that is something that you should be very blessed to realize, because I am blessed to realize that myself. Now, to start off, I would like to start off as per usual by asking all of you how you're doing so far. How has your week been, right? How has your week been? How has your family been? Work, school. For those of you who might be taking online classes, if you're in college, or some of you who might be taking summer school while you're in grade school, so on and so forth. How's all these things going for you so far? Are you doing all right? Is your family doing okay? Are you managing your mental, physical, and your spiritual health? Right? Are you managing these things? Because these things are very much so important. They should be important to you, right? Because only you are going to be the one that manages these things to the best of your ability. Nobody else is going to manage these things for you. So it is up to you to do your best, or the best that you can, in taking care of these things as much as possible. And so I implore you to do so. And so I will offer the solutions as I usually do on every show. I'll offer some solutions as to what you can do to manage these things as much as possible. Mom, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. As always, you're the best. But here are the solutions for managing your mental, physical, and your spiritual health. So first and foremost, number one, the very first solution I always like to offer is always to go to God in prayer. Go to Him in prayer and ask Him for His assistance, right? Always go to God for everything. Make Him the first person you always go to. Again, in every situation, whatever it may be, seek God and His help in prayer. Two, could be to work out, could be cleaning, cooking, taking a walk, yoga, right? These are some solutions that you can also implement into your life that can help you control or maintain or manage your mental, physical, and your spiritual health. And then finally, you can speak with somebody that is close to you, a close relative, friend, associate, whoever it is that you can ultimately trust, to speak about your concerns or situations regarding your mental, physical, and your spiritual health. All right. So these are my solutions that I offer that could be a potential help to managing your mental, physical, and your spiritual health as much as possible. Because again, nobody will take care of these things unlike you, because these things affect you, not anybody else, but you first and foremost, okay? So I hope and I pray that you implement these things and take them seriously, right? Because I care about you, and I know you care about me as well. And so I want to make sure you're doing all right, okay? So moving on. As I started last week Saturday, getting into the trades of, all the packages and deals that has happened in the NBA during this offseason. And so I'm continuing with that today, because there was a lot more trades that happened that I didn't really cover, that I didn't get to cover completely in last Saturday's show. And so I'm going to do that right now with you. Okay, so I'm going to get down to a really big one near the end of all this, because I still don't know, or I still don't have the confirmation as to whether it is completely true or not. But I'll get to that later on. All right. So all right. So for the Atlanta Hawks, they received Nickeil Alexander-Walker from the Minnesota Timberwolves on a 4-year deal. Right. So that lets you know automatically that the Minnesota Timberwolves has traded Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the Atlanta Hawks. So I wonder who they received from trading Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But you also have Luke Kennard and Kristaps Porzingis, who came from the Boston Celtics, who is now also joining the Atlanta Hawks. So the Atlanta Hawks have received Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luke Kennard, and Kristaps Porzingis in this trade deal to play with the Atlanta Hawks for this upcoming season. And they've waived or traded a whole bunch of players too. But we'll see where those players ended up playing for the respective team that they're joining. All right, so the Boston Celtics has received George Niang, Luka Garza, Josh Minot, and Anthony Simons. So Anthony Simons is one of the biggest players, or one of the known players that I'm aware of, alongside George Niang. So Anthony Simons has now been traded from the Trailblazers. So the Trailblazers has traded Anthony Simons to play alongside Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, along with everybody else in the Boston Celtics. So I'm curious to see how that will work out. But George Niang, if I'm not mistaken, I think he came from either the Cleveland Cavaliers, or the Mavs. I'm not exactly sure who traded George Niang, but again, he's now playing alongside the Boston Celtics with Anthony Simons, Josh Minot, and Luka Garza. So that's who Boston has received in their trade package. And then Brooklyn Nets, like I brought up before, Michael Porter Jr., who is one of the biggest players who played alongside the Denver Nuggets with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, has now been traded to the Brooklyn Nets. And he, along with Terrence Mann, is also going to be a part of the team. We also have some people re-signing to return to the Brooklyn Nets as well. We have Day'Ron Sharpe and Zaire Williams, who both signed 2-year deals to return to the Brooklyn Nets. So they too can play alongside Michael Porter Jr. and Terrence Mann. So I'm kind of interested to see what that team dynamic is going to look like, right? Because the Brooklyn Nets, after Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden left, it all seemed like it was going to go downhill for that team, right? But hopefully we get to see something new. We get to see something interesting coming from this team during the regular season or upcoming season. But that's just me, all right? That's just me. Let's move on to, I'm going to skip all the way to Chicago Bulls. So like I brought up before, last Saturday, Lonzo Ball, who played for the Chicago Bulls, has been traded. So he no longer plays for the Chicago Bulls. He now plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So he's going to play alongside Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. So I'm going to be enthusiastic with how things are going to turn out to be for the Cleveland Cavaliers next season, because last season, again, for those of you who probably weren't aware, they performed extremely well. I'm talking about Cleveland here. Cleveland Cavaliers were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, but heartbreakingly so, they lost to the Indiana Pacers during last year's playoffs. So they did extremely well up until the playoffs when they lost. So will they be able to make that comeback next season or this upcoming season with Lonzo Ball? Who knows? I think Lonzo Ball is a good addition, in my opinion. I think he could be a good addition to the team. right? Considering he's very, very well versed in play, should I say, assist making and shooting, right? So I think is a very good addition to the team, and I'm for one, interested and excited to see what he will contribute to the Cleveland Cavaliers for this upcoming season in the NBA. And and in trading Lonzo Ball, the Chicago Bulls has received Isaac Okoro from the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that being said, the Cavaliers has traded Isaac Okoro to play alongside all the rest of them guys in the Chicago Bulls. Isaac Okoro is a very good player himself as well. I think he's contributed a lot to the Cleveland Cavaliers last season, right? I think he's contributed a whole lot, but I'm interested to see what he will do for the Chicago Bulls. I think they're still going to need a whole lot more in Chicago in order to be a championship contender, at least in the playoff sense, right? I think they'll definitely need a lot more to make it even to the playoffs. But that's just me, all right? That's definitely just me. All right, we got through with that. The Dallas Mavericks. Okay, so the Mavericks are going to be receiving D'Angelo Russell. So D'Angelo Russell has been traded from the Brooklyn Nets. He played for the Nets last season, and now he'll be joining the Dallas Mavericks in playing alongside Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and their newly recruited NBA rookie Cooper Flag. So that's four key players that they have here so far. 4 key players. So, considering or assuming that the entire team will remain healthy, I think this team has what it takes to run it back from 2020 what? From when they lost to the Celtics. I think they have a chance to make it to the playoffs, and who knows, maybe even the finals. Again, assuming Kyrie remains healthy, Anthony Davis remains healthy, and who else? Anthony Davis and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson doesn't look bad. He's looking healthy so far. So you have Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and you now have Cooper Flag. If these guys stay healthy, I definitely think for sure they can definitely make it all the way to the playoffs. And I'm leaving it at that, the playoffs. Who knows what will happen? Anything could happen. But for me personally, I think that they definitely have a chance. If they remain healthy, they can definitely make it to the playoffs. But that's just me. So, again, it's D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, and Cooper Flag. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen, all right? Anna Paul, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you tuning into the show. Thanks for the support. I really appreciate that from you. All right, so that's Dallas Mavericks there for their trade package. And then for the Denver Nuggets, so they received a lot of people. While trading Michael Porter Jr. So here's what they got. They got Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, who's coming all the way from Brooklyn Nets, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas. So these are the 4 players that they're receiving that's joining the team after trading Michael Porter Jr. and Dario Saric. I might be butchering the last name, but yeah, those are the 2 players that they traded in receiving these 4 players. Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jonas Valanciunas. All right, so that's what it's looking like for the Denver Nuggets. And then for the Detroit Pistons, they've received Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson, right? So Duncan Robinson came from the Miami Heat, and then you have Karis LeVert, who I believe came from the Cleveland Cavaliers. So 2 players after trading Simone Fontecchio, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Dennis Schroeder, right? So they traded 3 players for 2. Again, it's Duncan Robinson and Karis LeVert. So for this team, I don't know. I really don't know about this team and how far they're going to make it into the playoffs, at least the playoffs. I don't know. I still think they need a lot more players, should I say, or decent to good players. I think so myself, but yeah, I don't know how much of a difference that will make for the Detroit Pistons, but again, we don't know, so only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see for the regular season of the NBA. Now, this one hurts me a lot. This one hurts me a whole lot because, again, for those of you who don't know, I am a Golden State Warriors fan, right? I'm a Golden State Warriors fan, and we received nobody. We didn't get anybody, but despite that, we gave up somebody in our trade packages, and it hurts my heart, man. It hurts my heart, and I brought this up last Saturday. Kevin Looney. He was one of our greatest centers, and unfortunately, we traded him, or he departed because he had free agency. Sorry, we didn't trade him, but he had free agency, and now he's going to be joining the New Orleans Pelicans from his departure from the Golden State Warriors. So it's with a heavy heart. It is with a heavy heart that we have to lose Kevin Looney as our center, and he's going to bring his talents all the way to the New Orleans Pelicans. So I don't know who will be taking over as our center, who might be as good as Kevin Looney, but again, it's very unfortunate, but we can only wish him the best of luck because this is only simply business. Simply just business, all right? So that's what it's looking like so far for the Golden State Warriors. Let me get down to the interesting ones. So for the LA Clippers, so LA Clippers has received Bradley Beal. So Bradley Beal played for the Phoenix Suns, and he was in a buyout contract. And what that means is they couldn't trade him per se, because it was up to him as to whether he wanted to leave the Phoenix Suns or not. And so he made the decision, Bradley Beal, to leave from his buyout contract to now play with the LA Clippers in a 2-year deal. And apparently Bradley Beal really did not like playing for the Phoenix Suns. And so this seems to be something that he wanted. Right, so now it looks like he's going to be playing alongside James Harden and Nicholas Batum in the Clippers. So again, they received Bradley Beal, John Collins from the Jazz, and Brook Lopez in their trade package, and they traded Norman Powell and Drew Eubanks. So that's what it's looking like for the Clippers. I believe they have Kawhi Leonard on that team as well. So Bradley Beal, I don't know how I feel about him playing with the Clippers himself. Make no mistake, Bradley Beal is talented, right? He's a hooper, nothing short, nothing less. But I truly don't know how much of a contribution that he's going to add to that team. But I might be wrong. As per usual, these are only just my humble opinions, but that's how I feel about it. I don't know how much he's going to offer to that team, but we'll just have to wait and see what he'll do this upcoming regular season in the NBA. All right? And then for who else? Okay, so for the New Orleans Pelicans, they received 3 players. All right, 3 players, and they've also traded 3 players as well. So one of the players that they received in their trade package is Jordan Poole. So Jordan Poole, for those of you who do not know, played for the Washington Wizards. First, he played for the Golden State Warriors, right? But unfortunately, we decided to trade him to the Washington Wizards, and they now traded Jordan Poole to now play with the New Orleans Pelicans. So they have Jordan Poole, Kevin Looney, which I said before, the Golden State Warriors traded. So they have Kevin Looney, Jordan Poole, and they also have Saddiq Bey. So they have these three players for after trading Bruce Brown, C.J. McCollum, who was one of their veteran players, and Kelly Olynyk, who was also one of their veteran players as well. So two of those players, Kelly Olynyk, C.J. McCollum, are going to the Wizards, and Bruce Brown will be going to the Denver Nuggets. All right. So listen, in my opinion, Zion Williamson hasn't even been playing a vast majority of the regular season with the New Orleans Pelicans. So I can't really say that they'll be working very well alongside him, considering his off-court shenanigans regarding personal matters, family business, whatever the case may be. I can't really say that they will be, providing much of an assistance to him because, again, he's barely even playing in the regular season as much, right? He's supposed to be keeping himself in shape, but he keeps gaining unnecessary and unhealthy weight, right? So, excuse me, yeah, I don't know how much of a help that these three will be to the New Orleans Pelicans. Granted, if C.J. McCollum still stayed with the New Orleans Pelicans, then we could see them going somewhere, right? Going farther, but yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know how much of a difference these three guys will make for the team, but yeah, considering Zion Williamson and his personal issues, I don't know. But that's just me. I personally don't know how much of a difference these three guys will make. But that's just me. And Kevin Looney is a good center. He was our center. But yeah, it would just be better if they had Zion Williamson actually contributing to the New Orleans Pelicans and consistently playing throughout the regular season of the NBA. Because you can't be paying. Because listen, the NBA has a lot of money. You have to realize the NBA is, like, if I'm not mistaken, almost close to $1 billion business. So you don't want to keep giving money away to players who are not actively engaged in every single game during the regular season, right? You're making an investment on players, right? And so the investment that the New Orleans Pelicans are making on Zion Williamson seems to be an investment that they don't feel like they want to make anymore, considering what's happening so far, right? And so hopefully, you can only hope that Zion Williamson will make a turnaround for this upcoming season to help contribute more to the New Orleans Pelicans organization, right? So that he can help Jordan Poole, Kevin Looney, Saddiq Bey, and the rest of the teammates on that team. But hey, that's just me, all right? That's just my personal opinion on that. So there's far more trades that I also want to get into, and I'm gonna save the rest of that again for next Saturday's meetup because time is running short. Time is running very fast, but it's also time is going by on a short notice. So I'm gonna stop there. Now, I did say in the beginning that I wanted to bring up a certain, should I say, rumor that I heard about a certain trade that might be happening, right? And so there might. There's no evidence, or there's nowhere that I can prove this, but these are things that I'm hearing. I'm hearing these things, right? Which is the Lakers might be trading or might be up to trading LeBron James. Now that sounded crazy to me because at first I thought that it would be LeBron's decision to want to leave the Lakers and play for a different team. but it's actually being said in this rumor that the Lakers are considering trading LeBron. And so I, for one, have no idea why the Lakers would want to do something like this, right? I don't know why they would want to do something like this, but but you know, if they do, it'll be very, very, very interesting to know where LeBron will be going exactly, because it doesn't seem too far-fetched to consider that he might be retiring soon, considering his age and how old he is. It's not too far-fetched to see him retiring very soon. But for now, while he's still in the NBA, it would be interesting to know what team exactly he would be going to if the Lakers were successful in trading LeBron James. So that's one of the trades that I heard about that sounded crazy to me. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's absolutely true. Nothing has been coming out yet in regards to this trade. But I think it's crazy. But then I also think it's interesting at the same time, because you have to wonder where exactly he'll be going. Will he be going back to Miami or back to Cleveland, right? Or, to a different other team? You can only guess. You can only guess where LeBron might be going. But, again, don't quote me on this. This is only just a rumor, right? But that's what we have so far for the trade packages for the NBA. I will give you your schedule for the WNBA. Their schedules for the WNBA matchups for today is going to be Team Caitlin Clark versus Team Collier. Now, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything like this before in the WNBA, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But that seems to be the only matchups that we have so far for today. Again, it's Team Collier versus Team Clark, which will be happening tonight at 8:30 p.m. And then for the Summer League matchups for tonight, we have the New York Knicks will be taking on the Washington Wizards. Sacramento Kings will be facing off against the Toronto Raptors. Houston Rockets going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Charlotte Hornets going up against the Oklahoma City Thunders. Cleveland Cavaliers will be facing off against the Golden State Warriors. Detroit Pistons will be taking on the San Antonio Spurs. And then finally, we have the Portland Trail Blazers who will be going up against the Phoenix Suns. All right? So, those are your matchups for today. I'll give you the Bible verse for today. And our Bible verse will be coming from John chapter 17, verses 20 through 21. Again, the verse will be coming from John chapter 17, verses 20 through 21. Verset ap soti nan Jean chapitre 17, verset 20 à 21. Jean chapitre 17, verset 20 à 21. I'll begin reading for you. My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Allow me to read that for you one more time. And it reads, my prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message, that all of them may be one. Father, just as you are in me and I am in you, may they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Mwa li verset pou nou en Creole. Li kon sa. Se pa pou yon selman, map la prière, mais pour tout moun qui va mettre confiance yo nan mwen, les attendez message là. M'a la prière pour yo tout, fait un seul. Papa, c'est pour yo tout, c'est pour yo tout, fait ensemble avec nous, même gens ou même, ou nan moi-même, moi nan ou. C'est pour yo tout faire un seul, pour moun qui nan lemonyo ka kwe, c'est où qui te voye moi. Bam li ça pour bam li verset pour encore. Li li comme ça. C'est pas pour yo seulement m'a la prière, mais pour tout le monde qui va mettre confiance en moi, les attendre message là. M'a la prière pour yo tout, faire un seul. Papa, c'est pour yo tout faire ensemble avec nous. Même gens ou même ou nan moi-même, moi nan ou. C'est pour yo tout faire un seul pour moun qui nan lemonyo ka kwe c'est ou qui te voye moi. So the verse in itself Jesus wanted to make very clear that it's not only for a certain group of people that he's praying for. And when I say a certain group of people, I'm saying it's not only for the believers that he's praying for. It's not only for the people that believe in him that he's praying for. He's also praying for everybody, for everyone, right? Even the non-believers, so that they too can believe. Because remember, during the time where Jesus was crucified, right on the cross, when he made his prayer on the cross, he asked God to forgive them, for they know not what they do. So he's praying to God to forgive even the ones that are persecuting him, right? And we can also see the ones that persecute him as those who are non-believers, right? There are a lot of believers and non-believers in this world. And what what he's praying for is not only for those that believe in him, but also for those who do not believe in him, i.e. your persecutors, right? The people who persecute Jesus, the people who reject Jesus, the people, again, I'm talking about the people that are alive too. The people who reject Jesus, who persecute Jesus, who delays believing in Jesus. He's also praying for those people as well, right? And what I want you to realize is that when you're praying, you don't only pray for your family members, you don't only pray for your friends, you don't only pray for the people that you know, but you must also pray for the people that you don't know, for the people who are also non-believers. Semble pour connaître. C'est pas seulement ou t'as supposé prier pour famille ou bien pour prier pour prier pour moun ou connaît seulement, parce que ça besoin pour connaître. Les Jésus était sur la terre, il pas seulement prier pour moun qui te croit dans lui, mais pour moun qui pas croit pour moun qui pas croit dans Jésus aussi. Parce que les ont crucifié Jésus sur la terre, il était demandé bon Dieu pour être capable comment on dit ça, forgive tout le monde qui t'a persécuté. So ça qui ça veut dire? Pour monde qui croit dans lui et pour monde qui pas croit dans Jésus, Jésus était prié pour tout le monde. Il était prié pour tout le monde. Et ça a besoin pour connaître tout. C'est pas pour monde qui connaît seulement pour la prière pour eux, mais ou besoin la prière pour monde qui pas connaît Jésus tout. Ou besoin faire la prière pour monde qui pas connaît Jésus, puis yo ka connaît Jésus. Et Jean moun yo ka connaît Jésus, c'est les ap garder sur la vie, les ap garder sur même dans qui gens vivent la vie et puis les ou geta ouais qui gens de moun qui comment marcher dans la vie, la besoin connaît qui est ou et qui bon Dieu a servi. OK, parce que ça nous t'a supposé faire c'est pour nous la prière pour tout le monde dans le monde, pas seulement pour monde qui c'est chrétien ou bien pour moun qui connaît bon Dieu. Ou besoin la prière pour tout le monde sur la terre. Right? Parce que ou pas jamais connaît qui ça bon Dieu qu'a fait pour moun ça. Bon Dieu qu'a fait n'importe bagarre, pas rien qui est impossible pour bon Dieu. So pour moun qui toujours vivre qui pas connaît bon Dieu qu'a fait une façon ou bien li qu'a fait yon bagay dans la vie moun ça pour capable faire moun nan well tant que yon moun qui c'est un chrétien qui serve bon Dieu. Et puis moun ça gen des fois moun ça ka prend décision pour tête parle pour ka servir bon Dieu dans la vie parle tout. Il a fait décision pour accepter bon Dieu dans la ville parce que li ouais qui genre de moun et puis ou prier pour moun ça aussi ou pas seulement prier pour moun ou connaît ou bien pour famille mais ou toujours prier pour l'autre monde. OK, so c'est ça me besoin pour connaître pas seulement prier pour tête pas avec pour famille mais prier pour tout le monde. Moun nous connaît, moun nous pas connaît. L'ennemi yo prier pour tout le monde. Okay? So pray for your enemies. Pray for strangers. Pray for anybody. It doesn't have to be just your family members or friends or relatives. Everybody should be included in your prayers, okay? So that's the verse that I have for you today. And I will see you all here again on Tuesday around 12:30 to continue on with my show, all right? I love you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you then. Bye.